From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Tuesday, January 5th, right now on Good Morning Indiana.
Critical care capacity has been running at its limit now for several weeks.
Bracing for another spike here in the Hoosier State, how local hospitals are preparing for another surge of COVID-19 cases.
He served the state of Indiana in the U.S. Senate for 6 years. Now and only on WRTV, former Senator Joe Donnelly is reacting to the efforts to challenge a certification of the election.
And it's a big day for Indianapolis as local businesses are hoping to bring you back downtown. We have an inside look as the Garage Food Hall opens its doors.
And we open our doors on this Tuesday morning, and welcome to you. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this 5th day of the new year. The entire team is back, and by the way, team, the snowblower is in the garage waiting for Todd Clausen to say something glorious so that I can get that thing powered up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Let's not worry about the snowblower right now, Raphael. Just keep that tucked away safely in your garage. Megan, it was a little chilly as we're heading into work this morning, but no major complaints.
Oh, yeah. I won't complain too much, but Todd, please tell me that it won't be too much colder.
No, the temperatures aren't going to drop. But, Raphael, I ran out of time to talk about it at the end of 5 o'clock there. But when I was watching that story on Russia and all the snow, I said, I found where Raphael has to go to use the snowblower.
There you go.
And we're talking about it.
One word for that.
You know, have to wait for the pandemic to end and then get on a plane to Russia. You know, check that bad boy.
Todd, one word for that, yet. I am not going to Russia.
All right, outside right now we are dealing with conditions that are a little more quiet than they were a couple hours ago. We had a little bit of a light rain snow mixture make its way through the area, and you can see on radar right now there's not a whole lot that's left with the exception of a few flurries. That band of precipitation is off to the east. Wet the roadways here across central Indiana, and can't rule out the chance of maybe a slick spot now that temperatures have fallen below freezing. I think mainly it would be some bridges and overpasses that would be impacted the most. The roads have quite a bit of salt on them from the freezing rain on New Year's morning. And then again, we had that little mixed precipitation Sunday morning. So I'm not expecting huge issues on the roads, but just be a little bit careful. Here are those temperatures that are hovering at freezing in Lafayette to just below freezing in Bloomington. Now that the precipitation has come to an end, unfortunately, we're just stuck with the clouds here throughout the remainder of the day. Mostly cloudy skies, temperatures with the clouds not going to move a whole lot, as highs will be topping off only in the mid-30s. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look right now at your commute just a little east of the downtown area. This is our camera here at I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue, where traffic, as you can see, is picking up this morning, both eastbound and westbound. No delays to slow you down. However, just off the interstate near this area, we do have a single vehicle crash. This one's on Massachusetts Avenue near North Dearborn Street, so just be aware of that as you're traveling out and about this morning. But overall traffic, especially on your interstates, is traveling smoothly. Megan?
Thanks, Lauren. Today, the next piece of the Bottle Works District development in downtown opens to the public. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with an early look inside the Garage Food Hall. Hey, Kelsey.
Hey, good morning. So in just a few hours, the Garage Food Hall is going to open here in the Bottle Works District. That's on the north end of Mass Avenue. So the Bottle Works District, as you know, is all about reimagining the 1930s Coca-Cola bottling plant on the north end, again, of Mass Ave. Now, the Garage Food Hall is just steps away from the development's new Bottle Works Hotel that opened last month. And the food hall is a community-focused marketplace that offers residents and travelers alike the opportunity to check out the food and wares from local chefs and artisans, all behind the garage's roll-up doors. General Manager Nicole Ulrich wants you to know there is more than just food at the Garage Food Hall.
Aside from that, we also want to talk about the fact that we have retail and we have services. So here we're essentially a marketplace in a community, a destination, if you will, where you can come in and you can dine with us. We've got entertainment so that your family can be entertained. We love to have your kiddos down here as well. So, you know, it's really, it's a destination that offers so many things.
So masks, of course, are required in the garage, and they do have social distancing practices in place. And Ulrich says they are doing everything they can to make the space a safe one for all of their guests. Now, again, this garage food hall, it does open today at 10:30, and currently there are going to be 14 vendors. That's including restaurants, stores, and we know there's a barber shop in there as well. And then they tell us that 4 more vendors are going to be opening up shop here at the garage food hall over the next 2 months, and they say they do still have space for more vendors. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much. Another great place to visit in downtown Indianapolis. A big good morning to Anderson, Lebanon, and Greenwood. Another step forward in the fight against the pandemic as more Hoosiers can now get vaccinated. Frontline first responders are now eligible to receive the first dose of the Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine. And this includes firefighters, police officers, emergency medical services, first responders, volunteers, and reserve officers. Frontline healthcare workers, as you know, and patients at long-term care facilities have been getting vaccinated since Indiana received its first shipments of the COVID vaccine in December. We're waiting for more specifics on who will be the next group to get vaccinated. We do expect an update on Indiana's vaccination progress tomorrow during the governor's weekly briefing. Lauren?
And Raphael, let's stay on that topic. Some more good news on the vaccine front. Johnson & Johnson says that the vaccine trial is on track, and that company could seek emergency authorization use by next month. Johnson & Johnson's Janssen vaccine would be the first to only require 1 dose. It works by producing an antigen or protein which causes an immune response to protect against the virus. The same technology was used to develop the Ebola vaccine. Johnson & Johnson is aiming to have its data towards the end of the month, and then it will submit an emergency use authorization application to the FDA in February.
Lauren, COVID-19 hospitalizations are starting to rise across the state. As of this morning, 2,836 Hoosiers are hospitalized with the virus or suspected case. Hospitals in central Indiana are now preparing for a potential post-holiday surge in COVID patients. We spoke with leaders at Franciscan Health. They say even though Governor Holcomb has lifted a ban on elective surgeries, they're continuing the restriction, and that will last for at least the next 2 weeks. But even with the restriction, hospital leaders say an influx of COVID-19 patients will still be a challenge.
Our critical care capacity has been running at its limit now for several weeks. We make the best we can out of the available space that we have.
Doctors at Franciscan Health say over the next 2 weeks are when people would present symptoms from any holiday gatherings, so they will reassess their plan at that time. We did ask Franciscan Health if there are any concerns about the new strain of COVID-19, and they say at this point there's no big concern. They added that whether it's the original strain or something new, the biggest concern is the ability to treat and care for patients. Raphael?
So, Megan, let's take a closer look at the numbers. About half of Indiana's 92 counties right now are in the red status. What does that mean? That means that there's a high risk of community spread in those counties. 45 counties, including Marion, with the biggest population, are in the orange status, and Jay County is the only one in the yellow status. As of this morning, nearly 12,000 COVID-19 cases have been reported this month so far. Now, some of those date back to the last 2 weeks of December. State health officials also report 39 new COVID-related deaths. Since the pandemic began, 8,150 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19.
Here at 609, bargain hunters will have to put their plans on hold. The Indianapolis Garage Sale and Marketplace will not take place this weekend as originally planned. Due to the increase in COVID-19 cases, that annual event at the State Fairgrounds has now been moved to May 1st and 2nd. You'll still be able to shop hundreds of booths with low prices then. Shoppers will find antiques, collectibles, jewelry, new and gently used clothing, arts, crafts, and more. There's also still time to book a booth if you have items to sell. Raphael?
Former U.S. Senator Joe Donnelly, Lauren, is weighing in on efforts to overturn the election. Why he says it's an attack on the Constitution. Megan?
And stimulus checks are on their way. Coming up, how you can track your payment. Todd, how's the weather looking?
We've been dealing, Megan, with a little bit of a wintry mix making its way through central Indiana here this morning. But as you look at storm team radar, you can see it's basically now off into Ohio. Just lots of clouds for the remainder of the day. We'll talk about your Tuesday forecast and look ahead as well to the rest of the work week coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues here in just a couple minutes.
/Jefferson Awards.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The bid to overturn the November election is set to take center stage tomorrow on Capitol Hill. Former Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly, he questions those leading that effort. And only on WRTV this morning, the Democrat weighs in on the president's recent phone call to Georgia's top election officer.
In that call, the president is asking the Georgia election official to find more than 11,000 votes on his behalf. What do you make of that call? Do you think that's an impeachable offense?
There have actually, Raphael, been 3 different recounts conducted in Georgia already. And every one of them showed almost the exact same result as what we have. And so I think that it was a clear effort to overturn the election. The president in court right now, I think they've had 61 court decisions. They've lost 60 of them. That was worse than the New York Mets in 1962. And so, it's a situation that I think in the next few weeks, obviously, President-elect Biden will be inaugurated, and hopefully this sideshow will go away.
Tomorrow, members of the Senate, Republican members of the Senate, and a number of House members will oppose the Electoral College vote. What do you make of that, sir?
As Paul Ryan, the former Speaker of the House, a Republican, put it, he said this is anti-democratic. It's actually anti-conservative. It's an attack on our Constitution and our election system. And I think it's just out of fealty or fear to Donald Trump, to President Trump.
Indiana Senator Mike Braun is among those requesting the creation of a commission to conduct an emergency 10-day audit of the election returns, even though election officials in both Democratic and Republican states have legally certified the results. Now, I reached out to Mr. Braun's office via email yesterday around 2:30 in the afternoon, and I am still waiting for a response from him or his office. Senator Braun was part of a joint GOP statement that was issued on Saturday, which in part reads like this: "These are matters worthy of the Congress and entrusted to us to defend. We do not take this action lightly. We are acting not to thwart the democratic process, but to rather protect it." Now to the Peach State, where voters in Georgia today, Lauren, are heading to the polls for a runoff election.
Yeah, Raphael, people are voting on 2 Senate seats, and as Joan Lawrence reports, the results will affect the entire country.
Voters in Georgia will determine Tuesday which party will control the U.S. Senate.
Are you ready to show America that Georgia's a red state?
Republican Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue got a presidential boost less than 12 hours before the polls opened.
Kelly fights for me, David fights for me, that I can tell you.
Before the rally in Dalton, Georgia, both announced they will oppose the Electoral College's certification of President-elect Joe Biden's victory.
He may not know it yet, but Donald Trump is leaving.
Democratic candidates John Ossoff and the Reverend Raphael Warnock also received high-profile support in Atlanta on Election Day Eve.
By electing John and the Reverend, you can make an immediate difference in your own lives, the lives of the people all across this country.
If Ossoff and Warnock both win, the Senate will be split, with Vice President-elect Kamala Harris holding the tie-breaking vote. This political showdown in Georgia comes days after Trump pushed Georgia's Secretary of State in a recorded phone call to change the results of the 2020 presidential election.
It wasn't the right call. He shouldn't have made the call to begin with, and certainly shouldn't have had that dialogue.
It's a call for a coup with a gavel instead of a rifle.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And developing this morning, the most senior member of Georgia's state election board says he's requesting an investigation into President Trump's phone call to the Secretary of State. The goal is to determine if election fraud violations took place. Now, as of now, the Secretary of State's office says it does not plan to seek a criminal investigation. Megan?
Lauren, you can now track your stimulus payment online by using the Get My Payment tool. The IRS website is back up and running. It went live early Monday afternoon, but you may experience some delays due to the high demand. Last week, the second round of economic impact payments started to go out, so some people may have already seen those $600 in their accounts through direct deposit, of course. And paper checks have also started going out. Those will continue to be sent through January. Some people will also be mailed debit cards, so you want to be sure to check your mail carefully. And data on Get My Payment tool is updated overnight once per day.
The time right now is 6:18. If you're just itching to travel again, Southwest wants to make it happen. The airline just launched its new Wow sale. You can snag a flight for a getaway between March and April for as low as $29 one way. Southwest hopes the bargain buy will help keep the ball rolling after the busier than expected holiday travel season, especially considering how much airlines have been struggling during this pandemic. TSA says it was down 61% in 2020, and this sale goes on through Thursday. So from my getting a cheap flights travel expert over here to the weather expert, Todd, it is time to check in with you on our Tuesday forecast.
It is a pretty good deal. $29 get you somewhere, right? All right. I gotta have to look up on my lunch break some airfares around there from Indianapolis. All right. Outside right now, we have a wintry mix that is coming to an end. In fact, at this point, it's basically done for most of us. And I'll show you radar in just a second. This afternoon, mostly cloudy skies, and then we just keep the clouds in throughout the evening hours. Any sunshine would probably be late afternoon, and it's probably a peak here or there, and temperatures pretty seasonable for this time of year. You're walking out the door this morning. The temperatures now that are at or below freezing in all locations except Connorsville at 34 degrees, 31 right now in Muncie, 30 a pretty common number through the metro area, Greenfield, Indy to Martinsville, 31 in Bloomington. Lafayette right now is at 32 degrees. And with the clouds in place and that pesky northwesterly chilly wind, it is going to keep the temperatures from really warming much at all throughout the day today. We're going to hold pretty steady right around 30 degrees, and then eventually we'll start to see the temperatures moderate into the mid-30s later on this afternoon. Here is that wintry mix that went through. Some of you to the north saw a few snowflakes. Most of us saw a little bit of rain. There's a little bit of patchy fog out there as well, where the rain is currently falling here on the eastern side of the state. But again, it's getting ready to move off into Ohio, basically coming to an end for us as far as the precipitation goes. Unfortunately, though, these clouds are really going to linger as we continue throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. I do think they'll thin just a little bit across the area, but we're never going to get into a lot of sunshine like we saw throughout the day yesterday. Temperatures this afternoon are going to be pretty close to each other in northern locations, 34, 35 degrees in the metro area. We get anywhere between about 36 and 40 degrees, and then in southern locations, highs will be right around 40 degrees as well. Bloomington over towards the Seymour area. And these temperatures, again, seasonable for this time of year. The difference between yesterday and today, obviously, the sunshine helps everything out there. And yesterday felt like it was in the 40s. Today, even with the clouds in place, it's going to feel a couple degrees cooler than the actual temperatures. Hovering right around freezing here this evening. Then overnight tonight, the skies will start to clear just a little bit, and that'll allow the temperatures to get down into the mid-20s. A very cold start to your day tomorrow, and then throughout the day on Wednesday, we are looking at temperatures that will be in the mid-30s, and then we stay in the mid-30s for high temperatures all the way into the weekend. The next best chance of any decent sunshine or prolonged sunshine across the area, not until Saturday with a high temperature of 35 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. Here's a live look to our southeast, I-465 and Arlington Avenue. You can see traffic here is moving along smoothly, both eastbound and westbound. No crashes on your interstates to slow you down this morning. The only wrecks I'm monitoring still that single vehicle crash on the near east side, Massachusetts Avenue near Dearborn Street. No injuries to report. And we also have a report of a vehicle fire in the back of a residence near New York and Elder Avenue. That's on the west side. Megan?
The updates, Lauren. Stimulus payments are on the way, and that means scammers are trying to get their hands on your cash. Still ahead, what you need to know so you don't waste your money.
So he can do it all: football, baseball, and now Tim Tebow has written his first children's book. And this morning, the former Heisman Trophy winner will be live on Good Morning America right here on WRTV, talking about that and, of course, his new bride and so much more. But let's head outside on this Tuesday morning. A big good morning to Pittsburgh, Pendleton, and Providence. All great places to call home here in central Indiana. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.
RTV and all your brand new devices.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time right now is 6:25. So Megan, Raphael, we're 5 days into 2021.
Oh, yeah.
And I think people are happy just to see 2020 go by the wayside. Things haven't been that much different, yeah, the past couple days. But still, a Florida fire department ended their year by responding to a really ironic last call. They were counting down to the new year. In Brevard County, the firefighters were called out to an actual dumpster on fire. The department says it kind of summed up 2020, right? Well, the firefighters even took a picture by the dumpster after putting out the flames. Here's to 2021.
Now, Lauren and Megan, as you know, Beyonce is a friend of Good Morning Indiana, so this is in the Beyonce category. Listen up, single ladies, and check out this ring. This set the new Guinness World Record for the largest number of diamonds on a single ring. Just how many, do you ask? There are 12,638, and I am willing to buy just 2 for one of each of you. Oh, and 3 for Kelsey as well, of course. And we got Kelsey. That breaks the previous record of nearly 5,000 diamonds. The ring has a name. It's called Marigold, or the Ring of Prosperity. But if I were to buy it, it would be the Ring of Bankruptcy, because I don't have enough money for that. It was a circular band with an ornate floral design, which weighs nearly 6 ounces, and the stones are 38-carat natural diamonds, and all the diamonds are, I'm told, conflict-free. So that's a good thing. Conflict-free, but a little expensive for me.
And a little heavy.
You think so?
Yeah. It's not really, yeah.
It's a little much.
It's record-setting at least.
Yeah.
Really? Ladies, be honest. If someone brought you that ring, you wouldn't wear it? You wouldn't take it? I don't believe you. Sorry. I don't know. Shady. I don't believe you.
We'll pass on testing it out for now.
Yeah.
Thank you. And if you guys are ready to be done with the 2021 diet, I mean, just 5 days in, but why not sweeten things up?
What diet?
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Today is National Whipped Cream Day. You can add a little extra flavor with some vanilla or chocolate or coffee. And the dessert finisher is great on just about anything sweet. I'm a fan. I don't know if you guys are. And if you want to stick with that resolution to lose weight a little longer, top some fruit with whipped cream to keep the calories down. And the yearly observance is marked on the birthday of Ready Whip's founder. So happy birthday to him. And wow, what a yummy sweet treat, Todd.
Looks good already. I think I found my dessert for later on today.
Right.
All right, outside right now, we are dealing with conditions that are getting a little bit better. We had this light wintry mix make its way through the area during the course of the overnight hours. But as you see on radar, everything now is pushing off into Ohio. The roads are damp, though, and there could be a slick spot or two because temperatures have fallen just a couple degrees below freezing in many locations. Now, going forward here throughout the course of the day, there's no sunshine here this morning. We're locked in with the clouds, and as a result, temperatures are going to be in the low 30s. As we transition into the afternoon hours, I'm hopeful that a little bit of sunshine can sneak in here. It's just going to be a couple peaks here and there. We're never going to clear the clouds out, Lauren. And with that added sunshine, temperatures just slightly warmer this afternoon to seasonable levels in the upper 30s.
All right, Todd, thank you. So the long-awaited second round of stimulus checks are being sent out right now, and that means scammers, they're just trying to find a way to get their hands on your money. Consumer reporter John Matarese tells us what you need to be on the lookout for so you don't waste your money.
The stimulus checks are back this week, and so are the scammers. And with a lot of questions about the size of these checks, scams could be even worse this time. Are you hitting $600 this time? $1,200? $2,000? The FTC says all that confusion will be enough for people to fall for phishing and mail scams. Back in April, seniors were receiving fake stimulus checks like this one from the Credit Stimulus Department. Other folks are getting phone calls or emails claiming they need to give their Social Security number to collect their payment. Don't do it. The IRS will not call or email you. It will not ask for your Social Security number. The check will come from the U.S. Treasury, and if you get a paper one, it should be signed by the president. By the way, these latest checks are just $600, so any call or email about a larger one is probably a scam. So please don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's 6:30 on this Tuesday morning, and this is your news feed. An Anderson teen has died following a shooting at an apartment complex in Madison County. Police say the shooting happened around 9:15 Sunday night at the Fairview Park Apartments. The teen was found inside a vehicle with gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. The teen's death is being investigated as a homicide.
Nearly 700 temporary General Motors workers will become full-time employees. The job transition is taking place at 9 plants across the country. A facility in Fort Wayne is one of them. The Fort Wayne Assembly Plant employs 4,000 Hoosiers. The move is part of a 2019 contract agreement with the United Auto Workers Union. Besides the Fort Wayne plant, there are 3 other GM plants in Indiana.
Pacers Nation celebrating a win this morning. The blue and gold staging a late game rally to tie Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans. A shot by Malcolm Brogdon would seal the 118-116 overtime win for the Pacers. Indiana hosting Houston tomorrow night right here at home at Bankers Life Fieldhouse.
Here at your official home in Johnson County, opened the door, stepped outside, it's brisk. It's going to be a great day. So let's get moving, Central Indiana. It's feeling good out there.
Woken up after taking a little look outside. It's a little chilly in here too, Megan. So we're all ready to go for our Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, come on. It's great people to start the morning with, including our very own Todd Clausen. Todd, is it going to warm up just a little bit?
You know, temperatures aren't really going to warm a whole lot, but obviously you just need to take a shot of espresso in the commercial break like Raphael, and you get all pumped up and you're ready to go. You won't feel any of the cold temperatures out there this morning, and it's not terrible. Tomorrow's actually going to be colder as we start our day. Now, there was a little bit of a wintry mix across the area this morning, but on radar you can see most of that has come to an end. This band of snow and then rain on the southern end of that is pushing now off into Ohio. A few flurries possibility here on the eastern side of the state this morning, but that should not cause any issues on the roadways. But just be a little bit careful as you get going, because temperatures now are below freezing in all locations across central Indiana, and so there could be an isolated slick spot. Here's the view as you look from downtown off to the west, and you can see there's still kind of some moisture suspended in the air, and that damp feel makes these temperatures that you see here right around the freezing mark feel even a little bit cooler. Going forward throughout the day, cloudy skies this morning. We'll have maybe a few peaks of sunshine towards the tail end of the afternoon with high temperatures, Lauren, that'll be topping off in the upper 30s.
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out the door this morning. This is I-65 near 38th Street on the northwest side where things are traveling smoothly. Both northbound and southbound traffic is picking up, as you can see by all the headlights there moving across your screen. I'm not monitoring any interstate crashes to slow down your commute at this early hour. Raphael?
So all roads will lead to Indiana. Indiana, as you know, is known for its love of basketball, and now it will live up to its reputation in a matter of months when our state will host all of March Madness. 68 teams will participate in the tournament that will play at 6 venues. That includes Lucas Oil Stadium, Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Hinkle Fieldhouse, and the Fairgrounds Coliseum. IU and Purdue will also host first-round games respectfully at Assembly Hall and Mackey Arena. As the plan stands right now, fans will not be allowed in the venues, but a decision is expected to be made on that issue in just a matter of weeks. Governor Eric Holcomb says this is a golden opportunity for Indianapolis. To make this event safe is, of course, a top priority.
We can do this. We'll just have to pay very close attention to, obviously, the numbers in each of the communities, and then make sure all those public health measures are put into place that allow us to to host these events at the level that's safe.
And of course, playing off the March Madness theme, there's a plan to have a Mask Madness as part of the plan. The NCAA is launching that campaign of Mask Madness to give out thousands of cloth masks across the state during, of course, the event. Megan?
A very big deal, Raphael. And even without fans, the tournament is expected to help boost Indiana's economy. Early estimates say it will bring roughly $100 million in. Kim Donahue is a sports marketing expert at IUPUI. She says the long-term impact is immeasurable.
What people think about is all these student athletes that are coming to Indianapolis and are going to be here in our bubble. Most of those are not going to go pro. The vast majority of these student athletes are going to go on and be leaders in their profession of choice. And here they're going to have hopefully the best experience possible. And they're going to take that forward into their careers and use that as a recommendation in their future businesses as well.
And we'll continue to follow the tournament's plans as they develop. You can find more insight and reaction to the announcement on the WRTV app. Lauren?
Let's now go to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and its continued impact on our state. This morning, the state health department reports more than 3,600 new coronavirus cases. Since the pandemic began, nearly 530,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. State health officials also report 39 more Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus. Since March, nearly 8,200 people in our state have died with COVID-19. And now let's take a look at the virus's impact on our state's hospitals. This morning, 26% of the state's ICU beds remain available, while more than 70% of the state's ventilators are still available. Raphael?
The Electoral College votes are set to be confirmed tomorrow. And only on WRTV, a former Indiana senator now weighs in on plans to challenge those votes. Megan?
Plus, a major development is set to open today in the Circle City. We're live with what you can expect as the Bottle Works project opens its doors.
Plus, you'll want to stick around to see how a sports media company is giving hope to a Columbus restaurant. The time right now is 6:36 on your Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday. Only on WRTV, former Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly is critical of the effort to challenge the certification of the November election. Donnelly had this to say about his former opponent and current Senator Mike Braun.
We've had a long history, Raphael, in Indiana of serious, hardworking senators, Senator Lugar, Senator Coates, Senators Evans and Birch Bayh, Vice President Quayle. I tried to do what was right every single day. And I think this is it's a really radical extremist position, something Indiana has never been part of. And so this is something very, very foreign to the way we've always tried to represent our state in the United States Senate.
Is this about a fear for Mr. Braun, you believe, maybe about a primary challenge or not being able to hold President Trump's base? What do you think is driving this situation?
We take a constitutional oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. This is how our election system works. And so there's nothing much more radical or more extreme than trying to overturn state-certified election results.
Indiana Senator Mike Braun is among those requesting now the creation of a commission to conduct an emergency 10-day audit of the election returns, even though election officials in both Democratic and Republican states have legally certified the results. I did reach out to Mr. Braun's office via email yesterday at 2:32 in the afternoon, and I'm still waiting to get a response. But Senator Braun did sign on to a joint statement which he released on Saturday, which in part says, "These are matters worthy of the Congress and entrusted to us to defend. We do not take this action lightly. We are acting not to thwart the democratic process, but to rather protect it." Lauren?
Raphael, the time right now is 6:41. The site of a former school bus lot is driving into the new year with a new look, new businesses, and new jobs. WRTV's own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live with an inside look at what's opening at the newly created Bottle Works district. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So this Bottle Works district, as most people know, in the 1930s operated as the Coca-Cola bottling plant. And so they're turning this garage where those delivery trucks used to park, they're turning it now into a food hall. And so it's just steps away from the development's new Bottle Works hotel that opened last month. And the food hall is a community-focused marketplace that offers residents and travelers the opportunity to check out the food and wares from local chefs and artisans, all behind the garage's roll-up doors. General Manager Nicole Ulrich says it's been exciting to see the folks who have been watching this project for years experience it for the first time.
And they're always looking in the window. They've been watching the project for several years, and so they're so excited to see something positive happening on the other side of a pandemic. We're not on the other side, but we are in 2021, and I think that we are excited to bring something new and fresh to the city and do it in a safe manner.
So, of course, masks are required while you're inside the garage, and they do have social distancing practices in place. Ulrich says they are doing everything they can to make the space a safe one for all of their guests. So right now there are 14 vendors set up inside the garage. And again, they're not all food. They do have stores and then also services. We know that there's a barber shop inside there. So we know there's 14 right now, and 4 more are going to open over the next 2 months. And they say they have more space for vendors available right now. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Thank you, Kelsey. For the first time during the pandemic, a struggling business in Bartholomew County says it has hope. Brandy and Robin Lapidus own Special Dogs and More restaurant. It's located on Washington Street in Columbus. They focus on hiring people with intellectual and mental disabilities. 2020 started strong for the owners, but once the pandemic hit, sales plummeted. To stay afloat, they applied for Barstool Sports Barstool Fund. The sports media company started the foundation last month to help small businesses across the county. And to their surprise, Special Dogs was selected.
For the first time since the pandemic has started, that light is no longer just a little pinhole. That light's now a lot bigger.
Randy and Robin say the money will help cover rent throughout the entirety of the pandemic. Special Dog is one of about 70 other businesses selected. The Barstool Fund is still accepting new applications. We have more information on the WRTV News app if you'd like to apply.
A proposal seeks to place IMPD into the hands of a state board. Coming up, how the department is reacting to that plan. But first, let's check on your forecast on this Tuesday morning. Good morning, TK.
Raphael, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. We had a little bit of a light wintry mix move through the area while you were sleeping. You see that's pushing now off into Ohio. And as we go forward throughout the remainder of the week, look at this. No precipitation chances through Friday. We'll break down the forecast for you, talk about your temperature trend coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
On 411 to learn more.
Pushing back on that State House proposal to put the department under a 5-member state board by the year 2023. A department spokesperson tells WRTV, in part, we plan to review the language of the State House proposal and look forward to ongoing conversations over the next 3 months as we continue to build community trust and address violence in our neighborhoods. Metro Police also says it's focused on increasing accountability through its Use of Force Review Board and its civilian-led General Orders Board. Lauren?
Raphael, 5 days into the new year, Indianapolis has already seen 3 deadly shootings, and behind each deadly case is a family that has to deal with losing a loved one, plus the financial burden of a funeral and a burial. Reverend Charles Harrison with Barnes United Methodist Church and Indianapolis 10-Point Coalition says homicide victims tend to be young and they don't have life insurance, so their families are left to cover the cost of laying them to rest, which can be thousands of dollars. Harrison says faith leaders and the community often work together to help these grieving families.
It's heartbreaking when you get the phone call, when you're talking with the family, and how burdened they are. They're already grieving about the fact they have, lost a son or a daughter or a nephew or a niece, but then now trying to find the resources to bury them. And it's very heavy on these families.
Reverend Harrison and other faith leaders say they hope to eventually start a community fund to help victims' families.
A reminder now from WRTV Investigates. If you have a loved one in a nursing home or assisted living facility, make sure they get their stimulus check. The Federal Trade Commission says some nursing homes may try to take the stimulus payments, especially for residents on Medicaid. This happened earlier this year with the first round of stimulus checks. The FTC suggests talking to your loved one's nursing home. Remind them the resident should get the money. If you hear otherwise, report it to the Indiana Attorney General and the FTC. You can do that by going to reportfraud.ftc.gov. And time now is 6:48. Let's get a look of the weather outside with Todd Clausen. Hey, Todd.
Yeah, good morning, Megan. As you walk out the door here this morning, you're walking out to kind of damp conditions all across the area. We had this light wintry mix that went through during the overnight hours, and that has come to an end. There's still a few flurries out there, but lots of clouds are just going to linger throughout the week. It's not going to be the brightest week of weather for us, unfortunately, here across central Indiana. Yesterday was the day of this entire week that featured the most sunshine, but seasonable temperatures will be in place throughout the week. And by seasonable here in the first full week of January, we're talking about highs that'll be generally in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees. Here's the current look at radar as you get going on this Tuesday morning. And there's a few flurries, but otherwise any significant precipitation is now making its way into western portions of Ohio. We're just locked in with the cloud cover, though, throughout the remainder of the day and for really honestly the remainder of the week. So it's just something that we are going to have to get used to. And here's the view as you look from downtown off to the west, and you can see this moisture that's kind of just trapped between the ground and then the base of the clouds, and that's what's just giving us that damp feel. Now, when you factor in a wind chill value, you don't take into account the dampness out there. It's a combination of the temperature and wind speed. So when you see this feels like temperature, it's because of this wind out of the northwest at 10 miles per hour and the temperature of 30, making it feel like 21. But honestly, it feels even a little bit colder than that because of the moisture that is out there. So definitely bundle up as you get going throughout the morning hours here. Temperatures are in the 20s and 30s, but again, feels a little bit colder than that. Where do we go from here? Well, with the cloud cover in place, that's pretty solid throughout the morning hours. Temperatures really don't move a whole lot. And then this afternoon, I am hopeful that the clouds will break for a little peak of sunshine here or there, but we're never really going to see the clouds completely move out with temperatures today that'll be topping off in the mid-30s. As you wake up tomorrow morning, it's colder than it is outside right now. We're in the mid-20s with mostly cloudy skies, and then throughout the day tomorrow, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies with temperatures that will be in the mid-30s. Looking ahead, mostly cloudy on Thursday, 38, which is average. Friday, 35 degrees. I think Friday afternoon and then eventually into Saturday, we start to bring in the chance of a little more in the way of sunshine into the forecast. And then on Sunday, temperatures will be maybe a couple degrees warmer as well. But overall, it's not a terrible forecast. It just doesn't feature a lot of sunshine. Could be worse here, Lauren, in the first week of January, dealing with temperatures a lot colder and, of course, snow. And we have none of that in the forecast.
All right, Todd, that is good news. Let's take a look at traffic this morning as you're heading out the door, maybe to work or back to school this morning. This is a live look up in Hamilton County. Good morning to you on I-69, a view near 116th Street in the Fishers area. Traffic is traveling smoothly in that area this morning. No crashes, no delays to slow you down. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on your interstates and keep you updated on any problems. Raphael?
Hiring Hoosiers is our daily commitment here at WRTV to connect you to jobs throughout central Indiana. And Kroger is looking to hire more people in this new year. The grocer says that the pandemic created a spike in the demand for Kroger pickup, creating a need for more people to process food orders. Company officials also say that they need more pharmacy technicians. To take a look at all of the jobs that are open with Kroger's, go to their jobs.kroger.com site to get all of those open positions. Megan?
Thanks, Raphael. More Hoosiers can roll up their sleeves for the coronavirus vaccine. Coming up, who state officials say are now eligible for the shot. That's coming up right after the break.
The car you want, the way you want.
Welcome back. The time right now is 6:55 right here on Good Morning Indiana.
Storm team meteorologist Todd Clausen will have a look at your Tuesday forecast in just a few moments.
But first, your top stories on this Tuesday. Another step forward in the fight against the pandemic. Frontline first responders can now get the first dose of the vaccine. Firefighters, police officers, emergency medical services, first responder volunteers, and reserve officers are included. We are waiting for specifics on who will be the next group to get vaccinated. We do expect an update on Indiana's vaccination plan. That's tomorrow during the governor's weekly briefing.
And the entire NCAA March Madness tournament will be played right here in the state of Indiana. 68 teams will play at 6 venues in Indy, Bloomington, and Lafayette. Current plans do not include fans at those games.
Bargain hunters need to put their plans on hold. The coronavirus pandemic is causing the Indianapolis garage sale and marketplace to be postponed. The annual event at the state fairgrounds will now be held May 1st and 2nd. Shoppers will find antiques, collectibles, jewelry, new and gently used clothing, arts and crafts, and more. Of course, time now for a check of our weather with Todd Clausen at 6:56. Hey, Todd.
All right, we have had a late wintry mix make its way through the area throughout the overnight hours. That's moving off into Ohio, so we're in pretty good shape here going forward throughout the day as far as precipitation goes. Unfortunately, the clouds are going to hold pretty steady and pretty thick across the area during the entire day. 38 degrees, more of the same tomorrow. And even on Thursday, there's not much change that happens in the forecast. Really, Friday into Saturday is when we start to see some change, and that's more in the way of sunshine returning to the forecast with highs in the mid-30s.
All right, I'm looking forward to that sunshine returning. Thank you, Todd. We're back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic updates.
And all your news throughout the day can be found on the WRTV mobile app. Thanks for joining us. Have a great Tuesday.